Hi, I'm Allison Davies, Communications Assistant with Regional Tourism Organization 7, and I'm joined today by Wendy Malkin, one of the coaches with the T3 Accelerator program. Wendy has been helping tourism businesses across the Bruce Grey Simcoe region, and we're going to catch up with her today to learn a little bit more about T3. Thanks for joining us, Wendy.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I know you have a strong HR background. I thought maybe we could just start out by you giving the viewers some insight into your tourism background.
Sure. Yeah. So, like you said, my background is HR, and the tourism background I have. I mean, I've been working with businesses in the tourism industry as part of the T3. Early in my career is in food and beverage, and a number of the businesses that I've worked for, throughout my career have supplied, I'm sure, into the tourism businesses and industry. So, while maybe not directly, certainly indirectly, have worked within that space. But I've worked in a number of different industries, as I've said, and I think that has allowed me to get a good understanding from a business operations perspective of different businesses, types of businesses, but always with an HR lens, always looking at how businesses can get the most, out of and for their people. So just happy to be working with the tourism group as well.
Great. Yeah, well, they're lucky to have you, I would say. I was hoping you could give us some insight into now that you've worked with some of the businesses, what a local business would get out of partnering with T3.
Sure. I mean, I definitely think that the biggest thing is having access to coaches with, a lot of us have very different backgrounds from one another. So you really get that rounded business background from the coaches. And they can help act as a sounding board, right? Help businesses talk through various issues or concerns. I think there's so many tools and things that can help businesses that T3 can give businesses access to. So I think being part of T3 gives a business that opportunity to get access to resources, to people with areas of expertise that can help them as they sort of navigate and work through some of the challenges potentially they're facing from a business perspective, and be that sounding board. We're objective. You can kind of lay it all on the line and let us
Mhm.
help you talk it through.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had the privilege of meeting quite a few of the coaches now, and you're right that experience is very diverse, what people have to bring to the
Yeah,
table to help each business.
yeah.
Um, and as you mentioned, these obviously are complex times. Could you share some tips you might have with businesses that are struggling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I've seen and heard would be, getting outside your comfort zone, thinking outside the box. And I think, again, this is where a program like T3 can really be beneficial because I think that will help business owners kind of get a little creative. I mean, different channels. We've seen businesses have to pivot differently, partner differently,
Hmm.
staff and resource differently. So, I would say, one of the biggest things is, looking at your business, either what have you learned in 2020 so far, and then how are you able to bring that forward? And this is where T3, I think, would be a great resource to help businesses do that. So get creative would be
Yeah,
my overall statement.
yeah, yeah. And then since you have that HR background, do you have any insight into what recruiting is going to look like in 2021?
Whew, I mean, again, and anything I've read or any of the conversations I've been having, I think particularly for our region, even before COVID hit, staffing and resourcing has been a challenge. Businesses are competing for a limited amount of resources. So, from a recruiting perspective, again, I would, say think about how you can differentiate yourself
Hmm.
from another business. Maybe think also, about your social media and how you're getting out there and putting the word out about your business to potential candidates. Simple things like if you don't have an employee referral program, I mean, get people working in your business helping you to kind of look for staff,
Hmm.
and maybe think of staffing as a continuous process rather than just something you're going to do at the starting of a season, so that hopefully you don't, find yourself short. And one other piece that I think will become more of interest is maybe think about cross training, right? If you have limited staffing resource, has your business changed? Is there a way that you can maybe look at um, cross training staff so that you can move people around? That also helps from an employee retention
Yeah.
and engagement perspective, right? It makes it interesting for people if they're not just doing the same thing day in and day out. So it may just be, again, get a little creative in your recruiting thought process.
Yep, creativity is the name of the game at
I
the
know
moment. I
it's
think it
kind of
is.
a yeah, it's kind of a running theme, which probably doesn't always sound so helpful, right? It's like, get creative. Well, thanks for that, but the reality is, I think we're just in such interesting times right now, and I think even when we come back out of COVID,
Hmm.
that's going to continue to be the challenge. Businesses will have changed, right?
Yep.
And the workforce, work environment is also changing and continues to change. So I think businesses that can respond to that and get a little creative and get outside their comfort zone, are going to do well. So T3 again can give people some help in thinking through a lot of that for their business.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Wendy.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll be hearing from more local businesses who would like that support through T3.
Sure. Yep.
And for those of you interested in connecting, we will have the website and email on the screen. And yeah, thanks again, Wendy. It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Take care.
Take care.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.